I'm Angelique. I'm in charge of the programmes in Western Central Africa for Fauna and Flora. And today I'm going to rapidly present two case studies, one from Guinea concerning elephants and one on behalf of my colleagues in Eastern Africa, in Uganda, focusing on eastern chimpanzees. So I'll begin in Southeast Guinea, where we've worked in Ziama and Manu Biosphere Reserve since 2009. Here you can see a screenshot of two Ziama elephants being followed by hordes of very interested onlookers. These are two brothers that are habitual crop raiders and are also well known for their occasional forays into sort of Guinea, down through Liberia and into Cote d'Ivoire. This landscape is highly fragmented, so they go through a sort of mosaic of forest, farmland, towns and villages, and generally create mayhem as they go. Where's the next? Right, there we go. So Ziama's elephants are the last residential population in Guinea. They form part of a transboundary population with Liberia. In 2004, there was supposed to be around 2014. By 2012, it was already reduced by 2/3, and now today there are only 20 elephants around in Guinea. The decline has been attributed to transboundary poaching, which might have been exacerbated by human-elephant conflict, habitat degradation, which includes illegal farming in the core of Ziama, and in general, since 2016, there has been no killing of elephants, thankfully, and that's due to awareness and increased protection. So since 2016, we've supported wildlife authorities to follow various groups of elephants, and during that time, they've sort of recorded 483 incidents of human-elephant conflict. Most of this is the key crops are sort of rice, bananas, maize, and cassava. It happens mostly during August, September, October. And most of these are in two of Ziama's 32 villages. As a consequence of that, we decided to do some targeted action. So we do continuous awareness raising because obviously people are getting very, very close to these elephants. In fact, some people are feeding them and giving them water. They touch them, they pull their tails. So obviously not very safe. We introduced conservation agriculture to encourage people out of these wetland areas in the core area of Ziama and doing market gardening, so they could do that in the transition zone away from the core area. We introduced unpalatable crops such as ginger, chili, coffee. We've been piloting aquaculture, so bee fences, and we've collared two of the principal crop raiders, which are these two brothers. Here you can see a map of where the principal crop raiding happens. This is from 2021, so it's two principal villages. The results are, we've encouraged 400 farmers to move out of that core zone and start with these improved agricultural practices. 90% of these farmers have increased yields, and they've created these buffers around their plantations of rice, of unpalatable crops. We've had a 20% reduction in human-elephant conflict. For the aquaculture, very small pilot project, 50% of the hives are inhabited. Nevertheless, they've had 140 litres of honey, which is about £600, which is a lot of money locally, and we've had no crop raiding around those beehives. In terms of the collaring, well, some lovely pictures. Beehives. In terms of the collaring, we are able to ring fence the movements of those elephants, and that provides a means for an early warning system for farmers when elephants are coming close to their fields, and so they can guard their fields. Second case study I'm going to present is in the Goma landscape in Uganda. It's carried out in partnership with JGI and the Ugandan authorities. And there we've been working with private forest owners associations to encourage wildlife movements through some forest corridors as opposed to through agricultural land. and this is to reduce conflict with chimpanzees. I don't know if anybody's ever read anything about chimpanzees in Uganda, but there's some pretty nasty instances of, eating babies, injuring people. So it's really extreme conflict. The activities we've done is community-based restoration of those ecological corridors and forest, integration of agroforestry and unpalatable crops into the agricultural land to enhance people's livelihoods. And then we've got associated inclusive finance models to enable supply chain development of those crops that they're growing. Achievements to date, so we have this community-based chimpanzee and threat monitoring. This map is showing a result of where the different chimpanzee communities are. 90 hectares of riverine corridors have been produced with the community. Those forest association members have been trained on human-wildlife conflict mitigation techniques. They've also been provided with agroforestry trees for their farms. There are agribusiness companies establishing the linkages with the markets for the crop sales. And in general, there's been increased membership and improved governance across the sort of private forest owner associations. The next steps for Budongo is actually there needs to be a lot more work, context-specific work on the dynamics of human-wildlife conflict in the area. We need to design and implement some actual monitoring of human-wildlife conflict and pilot the mitigation strategies, which include these buffer zones around agricultural areas, which we've also done in Guinea, and these living fences of nettle spurge. There's also a thought to do guarding of fields, but apparently for chimpanzees, that's actually quite a dangerous thing to do. It can actually cause conflict as opposed to reducing conflict. And we want to establish these sustainable finance mechanisms to support the actual mitigation actions. In conclusion, so permanent solutions are ideal. So if you can not grow palatable crops, that would be ideal. If you can have impenetrable fences, that would be ideal. And if not, there can be really sort of good solutions with working with local stakeholders and designing those solutions with them so that you get community engagement and ownership. And finally, increasing people's awareness about how to behave in front of these wild animals can really reduce sort of the safety implications. Thank you very much. That was 5 minutes.